Pillbug9 here with another episode of PillbugCraft. So, today we're starting the episode down here next to where we left our beacon because we're actually out of iron. So, we used it up on making some of the resources for something we're going to build in the episode. I guess mainly the villager machine that we're going to build later in the episode. There's a lot of iron necessary for this thing. It's going to be the most complicated thing we have built yet. So, oh yeah. So that's why we're starting down here. Because we're going to start off with a bit of a mining time-lapse. Now, we've already mined pretty much all the way out that we can go out on that kind of direction there. But we have not mined all the way out over here, so this is what we're going to focus on. And hopefully there's a lot of unmined iron here. I mean, I see some right here even. Go ahead and do that. We got our torches here. Okay, so I think we'll be good for a time lapse here. Okay, and there we go. So, this is kind of what we've gotten. I don't know exactly how long that recording was there, but this is actually a pretty decent amount of stuff to come back with. At least we got a lot of iron. And I think we've actually exhausted the beacon thing. So I think we'll be able to take down this beacon and bring it with us. So I guess I need a shulker box to transport back that. I will leave these coordinates down because we'll probably want to come back and pick up all of this stuff later. But right now we're only going to haul the valuables back with us. So let's see if we can do that. I guess we gotta use some of our birch for that. Because we need one of these. Guess I should have checked. Yeah, none of these are empty. So, that's fine. And we also need this. 2 of these. Okay, let's see if we can open that. Put all our stuff in here. Okay, that's picked up. Put that away, and these. And put that in there and that in there. Now then, I guess we need to take down our stuff here. Starting with this. And now for the rest of this thing. Okay, I think we're nice and packed up here. So I guess there's the way out. So let's go out and fly back then. And home would be this way. And we probably also need to go repair this before we start building our villager thing. So, guess I'll be back when we're ready to start construction of that, I suppose. Okay, it just occurred to me that we don't need to go all the way to the XP farm. We have all this coal and redstone ore, which means if we put the pickaxe we need to repair in our offhand, and then use our fortune pickaxe here to mine this other stuff, we should be good. So the diamonds first. It didn't repair it much, but I wasn't expecting it to. So we got 14, those are like 5 pieces of ore. One of the ores in the cave I accidentally mined before I saw it. So that was a bit unfortunate. Oh yes, and we're gonna need all this iron later, or we might need a lot of this iron later, so let's go ahead and put that in here. Actually, we should probably... yeah, let's not do that, actually. What we should probably do is... break that. Well, that's gonna filter in there. But yeah, what we really need is we need our blast furnaces. That's what we need. Which I put somewhere. Let's see if I can find them real quick. There they are. Blast furnaces. So, like that and that. Let's put this on here too. Put those back for a bit of extra lighting, makes it look cooler. Now this should be able to smelt up our iron faster. So we'll go ahead and put that coal in there. So that's full. Good. Now we're going to put all of that back in here. And yep, that's smelting a lot faster. Okay, anyway, I guess while that's smelting, let's see if we can time-lapse the other stuff here. Of course, we only got 2 pieces of lapis, so I'll go ahead and mine that right now, actually. And we should go ahead and do the gold as well. Alright, lapis time. Yeah, not much XP there. Okay, now let's do the coal first. Then, well, I guess we'll time-lapse this then. Okay, and that's more redstone than we can actually hold. So, let's see if we can put some of this stuff away in here. Then pick up the rest of this. Okay, that's a lot of redstone right there. Let's grab some of this stuff so we can file it away properly later. It looks like this is still going. Looks like there's a decent amount left to go there, and then it needs to go do the gold. Although, actually, it does look like it's almost done. So, that's good. Let's actually sleep out here to get rid of the night. We don't need it to be night right now. Let's see if we can sort this stuff away where it's supposed to go. Let's reverse that. I think this is pretty much as repaired as we need it to be for our next step. This is nice. So I'll go ahead and put this stuff away and wait for that other thing to finish up with the smelting. And then I guess we'll probably be ready to start up here. Not that. That. And now we've got like 12 blocks of diamonds and stuff here. Put away the lapis as well while we're here. I'll go ahead and condense all that down into blocks too while we're waiting here. Although if it's done with the iron, yeah it is. Let's see how many blocks of iron we've got now. We went from none at the start of the episode all the way to 16 plus 2, 18, I guess 19 blocks exactly. That should be enough for whatever we need during this project. And I know that we definitely have enough redstone. So, yep, and the gold looks like it's done. Good, not very much gold, but it's good to have. So I guess I'll go ahead and set us up here for, yeah, I'll set us up for what we're doing next here, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I've built up a little bit of the room here. Here, I think I've dug it out to be the right size and everything. Of course, far from done here, as I have not installed anything to do with villagers yet. I've just started digging out some of the stuff that we're gonna have back here. But the villagers are gonna be going in little chambers here. And yeah, they won't be able to just jump out because there's going to be a block above them here when they're in the cells. And there's also going to be their workstations going to be placed here. I have yet to decide how many of what kind of villager I want to get. But I think I'm definitely going to have a bunch of librarians and a few farmers. I already have 2 librarians, which will be the first 2 slots. And then I'll probably have all the enchanted book dudes, and then I'll move into, like some farmers so that I can get emeralds easily. I keep hearing some of the farms we built a while back, so I hope that doesn't become an issue. Because the minecart rail is going to need to come in through here. So, hopefully that's not going to be that much of a problem, or a problem at all. That's what I'm hoping. But yeah, I guess I've got some other redstone to get to behind here. I think I want to have these villager stalls ready to move villagers in. We're going to go ahead and just start with this many for now. We can expand it so that this thing can hold up to 22 villagers, I believe. Because that's the maximum range at which this thing will work with the kind of design that we have here. I do believe. So, hopefully that is correct. But yes, I've got a fair bit of redstone to do. We're going to need to run a line of stuff here, or through here. We're just going to go 3 blocks down and run under all of that, which will allow us to do something cool with the villagers. And we're going to need to build a breeder off that way and stuff. Nothing else will get a zombie down here. Which, that should be interesting to try to get one all the way into this room here. Hopefully what we'll be able to do is just dig up to the surface and set up a temporary minecart rail that maybe comes down through here and enters this room. To allow us to get the zombie all the way to where we need him. But anyway, this will hopefully work out well for us. Really do need this villager trading thing. It's something we really do need to have here. So I think I'm probably going to start on the redstone back here. Let's see, I think I need to dig all the way back here and see how far back the redstone goes. Because I do want easy access to the stuff back here. And I'll probably be checking back in progress updates as well. So, I think I'll check back as soon as I've got the redstone back here built, probably. And I'll kind of take you through how it's been set up. Because otherwise this video is going to be like 10 hours long or something crazy. Hopefully it doesn't take me that long to build it, but I guess I'll be happy if at the end of today, if we at least have this first part built. Of course, we're not going to know if the whole thing works as it should until we hook up everything. But hopefully we'll have at least this part working as it should. So I'll do the circuitry back here, but we are going to have to set up some minecart rails and stuff for all of it to be working by the end of this. So I guess I'll just set up the first part of the circuit and we'll be back in a second. These circuits are now built. So I guess we'll prime the last one together here. Kind of show you a little bit how it works. So that observer detects that and then it pushes that one out there. Okay. So, kind of how these work. I guess let me put down some blocks so we can see it better. Is the observer detects an update, powers this for split second and half a second, which causes that piston to extend and retract super quickly. I guess that's known as a one-tick pulse right there. It sends a one-tick pulse through to this piston, which then causes it to move the block in front out to here. Now, that might not seem very useful for a villager thing, but you gotta remember that when a villager drops down, it's actually going to update the string again, which means it'll actually retract the block as long as a villager is standing here. And if something should happen to the villager, like say he gets dropped out the floor to get picked up by a minecart, then it spits it back out like that, making that a free slot. So this thing takes advantage of villager pathfinding. So there's going to actually be, like, I guess if you see I've cut that out up there. This is going to be a villager path, actually. Yeah, we're going to put villager workstation on the block right here. So there'll be a villager workstation like here. And the villager he'll get out of a minecart, which is how he'll get delivered there. In such a way, because there'll be like a trap door blocking off his head level, so he can only go this way rather than that way. And he'll see the workstation here, or here, or here, or however far back it is up to a certain point. I think up to 45 blocks in that direction from here. But anyway, he'll see that, and what he'll do is he'll walk to the workstation, fall in the hole, and then that will cause this to do that. Which means that it'll slowly fill out the path, making it so that the villager sees the workstation. If he sees this workstation, he'll be able to get to it, because there will be a villager here and here and here, completing the path up to this point. So that's kind of how this works. It relies on villagers pathfinding to their workstations. And we'll know which workstation to place, because when we set the villager trade up over here, which doubles as the zombie villager curing area as well. Now there'll be like a zombie over there that zombifies them, and then they'll end up here. We'll cure the zombie villager to get really good prices, and then we'll place on this block a workstation of whatever type we want, whatever type of villager we're trying to get, and then we'll see if we can get his trades to be what we want. Assuming we can get their trades to be what we want, or even if we can't, it depends. And we should be able to get most librarian books that we want, because that's one of their first trades, but it might be a little bit more tricky if we're trying to get something that we have to trade with the villager first, because that will lock his trades. But pretty much we'll know which kind of workstation to place. We'll set his trades here, and once we've traded with him, that locks it. So then we'll destroy whatever workstation we placed here, or whatever villager we want, and then we'll place it in front of one of these empty villager stalls. And then we'll hit some button to get him delivered up there, and then he'll pathfind along and plop in, and then that will happen. Now, I guess if we end up with one of those other villagers, that's why we need to be able to drop them out of the bottom here. Which that's going to be what the next circuit I build does. So I guess I'll talk more about that once I've built this circuit and have it to show. So, I guess I'll be back again in a little bit once I have that built to kind of explain the rest of this here. Okay, I think it was like thunderstorming or something out here a moment ago. Let's see if it is. Yep, it most certainly is, because that's happening. Okay, let's see. We need to see if we can get some creepers here. Oh, come on. I don't want... Go away. Wish that guy with the fancy bow would cut it out. There we go. Now, let's see. We gotta be fairly quick about this. Oops. Hopefully he doesn't die. And he died. Really? Okay, so they die from the direct hits with that. This guy's got fancy armor. Go away. These skeletons are the worst when you're trying to do anything. Really need like a couple of these guys next to each other. Yes! That's what we wanted. Now hopefully we can get a few more here. Oh, you guys just quit it. Let's see here. You come over here. Okay, perfect. Now, what else do we need to do here? See, get over here, Mr. Creeper. Let's shoot for like a skeleton's head or something. Oh, and it's over. Really? Well, at least we got a few heads out of that. Now let's get out of this horrible desert. Well, I guess we can see. I would have liked to have had at least 2 of the creeper heads, because there's something really cool that I wanted to make out of the one that we did get here. Here, I think we can now make a creeper face pattern on our banners. Pretty sure we can do that now that we have that head. And we might also be able to turn this zombie head into something like that, too. Yeah. Well, that was a little bit distracting. Another note, I did go ahead and actually finish the thing that we were working on. I wish I was able to drop what I was doing a little bit quicker there. We might have gotten another creeper head if I was able to do that. Oh well. Anyway, I think that takes care of us there. I think we can make this banner pattern. At least I hope we can. Now let's see. Yep, paper and the creeper head equals the creeper charge banner pattern. And the wither one's actually easier to get, ironically enough. Well, anyway, I'll put these heads away and process those later. Yeah, this is where I kind of just shoved everything I had on me into there. I think I'll just keep my regular chest plate on because we're not going to need to fly with this just in case that happens. Again, I'll keep myself set up. But anyway, we've kind of gotten this sort of going at this point. Let me see if I can grab back some of my supplies here. Particularly the button, as I was just putting the finishing touches on this before we were distracted by that. Okay, so now we've got all the buttons in place. I guess this one still isn't hooked up to anything, but that's fine. So the buttons always go on the left, and then when you press it, that opens, and then I guess we can probably hear it better here. And then that does nothing. What? What's going on here? Why doesn't the one on the end work? Well, how about this one? Do none of these work apart from the first one? What? Okay, I don't know what's going on here. I mean, I guess this one I know has to be wired slightly differently than the others because, which I thought was a little bit odd. So maybe that isn't something that I have to do anymore. Maybe I don't have to wire it differently. And can keep it just the same. No, I totally cannot do that. Because then this gets powered by some mysterious force. Actually, I think it gets powered by this one, making it so that it has to be wired up this other way. Although, interestingly enough, if I try to wire the first one up this other way, it doesn't work. For reasons as well. But, as far as I can tell, those should be getting updated. I totally tested this with more than one module, and now nothing apart from the first one's working properly. Because what's supposed to happen is it is supposed to retract and then push back out this block. And I tested that multiple times in creative mode, and it worked every time. I mean, that's the way this thing's supposed to function. I have no idea what its malfunction seems to be here. When it gets powered from back here, it works fine as well. Because that updates this piston. And for some reason, this isn't. It's like this piston needs to be powered. Forget all the fancy stuff I have here. I think I'm just gonna wire this whole thing together in a big chain. And have only the first one work. If the first one seems to work consistently, none of the other ones do. And I have no idea why. So I think I'm just going to get fed up with this and just rip all of this out and wire all of these he's back to the first one that does work, because this is too much of a pain otherwise. I'll be back once I've done that, and hopefully that works. There we go. I finally think I have it working here. So I can, like, do that, and you hear the click each time. So, yes, I had issues with it constantly jamming due to bud powering, which can be the worst sometimes. I know it allows for a lot of cool redstone stuff, but it also makes stuff that should otherwise work rather funky to try to make, especially on a server, because it seemed like the server lag, which that's very slight on any server, made it so this thing just flat out wasn't working in the way that I intended it to. So now what I have here is an anti-bud powering thing. Just one of these was no good, because then this one would end up getting bud powered for no apparent reason. But this chain makes it so whenever I hit any button, it doesn't matter which one, to any of these, one of these pistons fires, making it so that it should unjam itself whenever I use more than one button. And if all else fails, I've installed an anti-jamming system in here where I hit a different button, which activates this circuit here, which activates that piston, which will unjam this one if anything happens. And that makes it so that one of these does manage to jam up. So, hopefully, doing this, it'll be enough. And I am aware that if that one, that if the final one jams, there's nothing I can do about it. So, my anti-jamming mechanism, I might need to move it to the end of the room when that's the case, and cause it to fire off every single piston in this chain. Theoretically, whenever any of the buttons are pressed, every single piston in that chain gets activated as well. But without a second person here, that's impossible for me to see. So, I'll probably need to do a bit of testing to see if I can get any volunteers to just hit that button so I can see what's going on with the redstone. But hopefully, this new thing works, and I ran out of room behind here because the rails are gonna go up. Speaking of the rails, I need to, like, wind it around. Let's see here. Okay, so, I guess I'm done with, well, not the whole thing, of course, but I'm done with the part that I was supposed to be. I ran into a bit of an issue with the lighting while designing the rest of this room, so I ended up coming up with this kind of carpet design. I realized that the kind of design for this actually looks a bit like a train station. So, I think this is probably going to be, we're going to be calling this Villager Station from now on, I believe. And I tried to do like a little design here. The lighting is hidden underneath the center part. And I've also gotten a few other things. Mainly, a lot of the rails are done. Of course, our zombie's gonna go here once we have one. The villagers are gonna come from a villager breeder off that way, which we have yet to build. And yeah, I guess we're missing a button here, but you'll be able to press that to send the villager up this way, and then this activator rail plus the trap door should cause them to get out on this block and nowhere else. And then there'll be a cactus here in a collection chamber. And then this is where it gets interesting. From here, there's going to be when a villager gets picked up from a minecart after we hit one of those other buttons, he'll come up here, which is controlled by that switch on the wall. If we have it flicked one way, he'll go this way and end up back in front of the zombie to repeat that process again. But if we have it flicked so it goes this way, this is how we dispose of the villagers we don't want anymore. So we'll hit that button, they'll come up, go through here. Because of this trap door, they'll get off on this block. They think what they see is this, even though it's open. And we're going to have a bed over here, which means they're going to see the bed, and then they're going to try to get to the bed. So then they're going to walk, and then they're going to fall in here, and you can probably tell what we're probably going to have here. It's not going to be those 2 blocks. Next, you can probably tell from the symbol on the lever that controls that, actually. Yeah, kill mode, which is where it's going right now, versus the zombify mode. So if I flick that, now it goes back up here to be zombified, and the switch is facing the zombify mode. Do that, turns it to kill mode, and the villager will end up in that other chamber that I just showed. So that's what'll happen when you hit one of these buttons, based on what this switch is set to. It'll either take out the villager, or it'll re-zombify them in case, I don't know, we accidentally punch a villager or something. And then we need to go ahead and lower their prices again. And then I punched out this, because there'll be like a chest up there full of weakness potions, and a dispenser right here, which we'll be able to hit the button on the side of. Okay, I recorded the outro already for the video here, but there is something that came to my attention, or came to my mind after something that I just remembered about after I recorded that. So, I guess, as in that clip, I said that I think we should call this place Villager Central Station. So, yeah. I don't know where exactly in the video this is gonna go, but I decided to call this place Villager Central Station. But, so, another topic is, that thing is definitely the most complicated thing that I have built in the game since. So I wanted to do something a little bit special for it. And considering recent stuff that has happened, and that would be something that I really should do, like, right now. So, I mean, I guess I usually try to keep my videos pretty happy and stuff here, but there is some kind of thing that's slightly tragic that happened as of recently. So, I guess, as I've never mentioned this before, but one of the YouTubers that really kind of inspired me, or to kind of start my own channel here in the long run, I've been watching him for a really long time. That YouTuber is Think Noodles. He used to play Minecraft. He doesn't play it as much anymore, but yeah. Well, his dog, Kopi, recently passed away. I don't have all the details on that, but that's a bit sad there. This is the most complicated machine in my base so far, so I think I want to dedicate that to Think Noodle's dog, Kopi. So, I guess I'm going to go ahead and type that in right here. There we go. Hopefully that sounds right and doesn't come off the wrong way. But, yeah. That was the best I could come up with for that. And the limited sign space of a Minecraft sign doesn't really do it justice. But I guess something else that we could put inside there might be a statue. I did get a decent amount of gold from the mining we did earlier. So we might be able to do something a little bit more as well. But that's all I was able to do on such short notice here. But hopefully that dedication will stay here forever. So, dedicated that room to part of the inspiration of why I'm here making videos. because I probably would not be making videos if I never started watching Think Noodles. So, yes. Anyway, I guess I'll roll the outro that I recorded earlier, but, yeah, but, anyway, I think that is all of the time I have. So, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. If you really loved it, consider subscribing. And, well, my name is PillbugCraft, and so long till next time.